What is up, ladies and gents? This is your one and only Sugi JRPG here, and today we're gonna be exploring some top mods for Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age for Steam. Now, before we go into this list that I have compiled, I do want to say that a lot of these mods have certain types of prerequisites to basically get started. One of the things will be having a modding suit from Nexus Mods known as the Vortex. Or you can also have another system which is called the VBF browser, and then there's a third one called DragLab, which is basically a mod loader. So some of these mods are working with the Vortex, some of them are working with DragLab, and some of them are working with VBF, and some of the mods also have support for multiple different modding suits out there. I'm also going to be linking out a couple of very good tutorials on the top corner made by other people. But let's get started out with this list. As for number 5, we have a texture mod which is called the Party Skin Pack, which was done by ZKG, and this is a very self-explanatory mod. It basically changes out the costume designs for all the main characters, that is Vaughn, Bosch, Fran, Balthier, Penelo, and Ash. And these are a lot more conservative designs, so a lot less of pale skin showing up, especially when we look at the Vaughn's design. So instead of like apps showing up and all that stuff, you kind of have like this sort of a chainmail armor beneath all of this clothing, which has been recolored from the initial design. And then we, for example, have Bosch, which also has a lot more clothing, and I actually really like this design, probably the most out of the 6. And the rest of them are okay, I guess. I like Ash's design, but Balthier wasn't really changed too much, and I didn't really like the direction of Fran, and Penelo just looks kind of like out of place in terms of design, and I think they could have been looked a bit more different. The pink doesn't really add up in my opinion. And the cool thing about this mod is that you can also like install like one of them or two of them. You don't have to install all of them in case you don't like all the designs, so you can go with the default ones. And obviously there are other texture mods out there which are basically making out higher textures on the faces, for example, and higher fidelity. And then there's a couple of other alternative costumes out there. But in terms of like pure costume designs, these had to be the best ones out of the list that Nexus Mod basically has to offer. And then for number 4, we have HD Environment and Structures Texture Mod created by No Trust K. And what it does, it changes out over 6,500 textures inside the game, and these are anywhere from like castle walls to castle floors to cliffs that you see in the terrain. So basically everything inside the game now has a bit of a higher texture to them, like higher resolution, but also higher quality and detail. And I really say that this is actually, it may not be like super noticeable in certain locations, but once you actually like compare it to the original style and images, you can definitely see that there's like a fundamental difference here in terms of quality. And it's one of those like one install mods that basically can make the game look a lot better, obviously, because there isn't like a one texture mod that is basically created out for NPCs, so you have to download a lot of individual mods and basically want to get all of those NPCs done. But in terms of like making the actual environment and structures and the roads and everything look better, this is definitely a mod you want to download alongside with others. Then we have number 3, which is a mod called the Insurgency Bundle. This was created by XII, and this is a very nice mod because it basically allows you toggle on and off these type of quality of life changes, or basically these are cheat codes if we are completely honest with you. So the things that are included here, for example, we have a peaceful mode which allows you to basically explore any location without characters doing any aggressive actions or triggering any form of traps on the map. Then we have God mode, where basically all the characters are invincible and they are immune to all damage. So you may be seeing that, oh, I took just 4 damage, but in reality the HP bar is not actually moving at all. And then there's one hit kill, and this is basically, well, self-explanatory. It just one-shots the enemy that you are attacking, and it doesn't matter if it's a spell or an attack, it just kills them with a one-shot. This is great for basically farming more. Then there is the full party experience share, so basically it shares out all the experience with all the party members, not just the active ones. So basically, without them being part of the you know, your battle group, they're still getting experience on the side. So that is actually a very good thing. Then there is an exp multiplier, increases the experience from defeating the foes. There's an LP multiplier, which increases the license points defeating from foes. And then there's a party movement speed multiplier. This is not exactly a cheat, but it basically makes the game look, you know, go faster because you move faster, and you can use the rewind effect also on top of this, so you're moving actually quite fast. Then there is a foes respawn on site. Then there is also spawning all the rare games, whatever it's an ally or foe, it basically always will spawn them. Always chain, so basically you don't have to defeat the foes of the same species to keep up the chain going on. Then there's an auto loot, you don't actually have to walk over the items to basically get them, they will automatically given to you. Then there's the foes drop all items, so basically you kill any foe, you're getting all the items that they possibly could drop. So this is another one in case you're having a really bad luck of getting a certain item for a certain enemy that you're farming. And then there's like unlimited stealable foe items, so you can steal as much as you want. No magic fields, so basically disabling magic fields, HP sap, MP sap, no attacks, blah blah blah. No anti-libra. I really like this one because I really hate it when there's certain enemies that don't allow you to scan them basically. Fully revealed maps, unlimited quickening chains, infinite summon time, infinite chocobo time. And that's basically what this mod has to offer. So a lot of things, and some of these are kind of OP, some of them are not, so it depends on what you're basically using it for. But this is another mod you definitely should take a look into. And then for number 2, we have the Insurgency Vision, which is another mod done by XII. And what basically this one does, allows you to use different types of cool UI features. For example, there's a free camera feature, which basically allows you to enter out of Vaughn's body and explore whatever location you're currently in, whatever it's a city or dungeon, and you can go through walls and everything like that. And you can basically see the broader game design, the things that they have basically done in this game, and how they actually created this, and is there actually a model behind it, and where's the texture, where's not a texture. So this is a kind of like a cool feature. It kind of like gives you a bit of an understanding about the game design, obviously, and also allows you to kind of, you know, zoom out also from cutscenes as well, so in case you want to look them out on a different perspective, you also have that opportunity. On top of this, there are a lot of other features like custom field of view. So the default one is like 45 degrees, and then you have the ability to change it to 60, so have a bit of a zoomed out experience. There's some other zooming features for the camera as well. There's also a way to toggle off the minimap and also make it to actually rotate with your character, which is a very good quality of life change, let's be honest about that. And then you can totally hide the minimap, as I said. And then there's also like things that you can remove from the cutscenes, like the black bars, which appear on the top and the bottom to kind of give this sort of a movie feel, which doesn't really make a lot of sense with the modern resolutions and everything. So this actually can give you a bit of a higher aspect ratio on those cutscenes. And then you can also like remove like overhead HP bars and status effects, and also like remove the whole combat lock, which basically appears on the top left corner. And then there's the last thing, which is probably one of the more significant ones, which is the ability to basically disable all post-processing effects, and this will give a bit of a different type of a look into the game, more of a PS2 style, I guess I would say. And some people will prefer it, and some people will prefer the actual post-processing on there, but you have the opportunity to toggle it on and off when you basically feel like it. I haven't actually tested out will it drop or increase the FPS, but whatever. But this is actually one of the better mods also out there, which I definitely recommend everybody to get. And then we have our final mod on the list, which is called the Insurgents Companions, which is once again done by XII. And this is a very radical mod because it basically allows you to change to 4 party members. There's no other mod in any other Final Fantasy game that I have reviewed which actually allows you to change the amount of playable characters that you have on the battle. So obviously this is kind of like a default system when you have a quest character coming in certain parts of the story, obviously, but this allows you to basically change into 4 characters when you don't have that extra character around. So whatever you want to choose, Penelope, Vash, and Balthier, and Fran, all together, yes, you can run this 4 composition. This also extends to the quickening chain where the 4th character can participate on. Also, top of this, when you have these quest characters on, you have the ability to basically change their equipment, and you can also change out this quest into a reserved party member. So in case you don't want to use the quest character, you can just put in any of your other main 6 characters instead. And also the game over screen is no longer triggered if the quest is still alive, so that problem is also fixed. And the quest can now also ride a chocobo, and also the party members won't walk off with players' equipments anymore when they leave with the party, so this basically brings back the things you have equipped on them, which is very, very nice. And there's some other qualities in here, such as like the full party is now available inside towns as well, and party equipment in towns, and Esper with full party, and there are a lot of other things, and there's going to be a lot of other updates on the future in case this guy is still working on these mods. Like he wants to bring like Rex, Larsa, Vossler, and Vedas as like playable characters in the future and access their license boards. But that is pretty much my collection of these mods. And I'm going to be obviously doing a couple of more of these on the channel. We're going to be probably doing FF15 as well. I also want to remind you that I did review FF12 on the channel for PS4 a couple of years ago. So in case you want to check that out, I'm going to link it in the corner. And it's actually really something that I recommend getting actually on the PC, because the PC, after the release, they added out this patch which basically supports 60 FPS. So this game is a lot more better actually on PC than it is on PS4, just saying. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share, and I will be seeing you in the next video when it will be. Cheers.